Hi everybody. I haven't made any videos for a while. I've been wanting to, but life is life is very, very, very full right now. Um, but I've had one thing I've been wanting to share, and have been trying to find a time, and nothing is working out for me right now. The tech isn't working. The tools I would normally use to make this way better are not available to me at the moment. Just crazy, crazy things. Anyhow. The purpose of this video is to talk to you guys about some of the things that I think are fun in Genesis chapter 1 and John chapter 1. So if you have any interest in that, please watch this video. Um, this is not going to be a professional video. It is going to be quite messy, and we're going to stumble through it. But if you're interested in this topic, please go ahead and follow along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually read chapter 1 of Genesis because there's zero prep for this. There's zero prep. I'd encourage you to read along, and then I'm going to point out some things that I think are super cool. So Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And something I want to say right off the beginning is the word that is used for God right now. And this is a lot of what I'm going to be getting to in these chapters. But in Genesis chapter 1, the word that's used for God is the word Elohim. And you can just say that to your phone and have it tell you about the word Elohim. But the coolness about the word Elohim to me is that it is a singular it's a singular noun for God, but it's a plural form of a singular noun. And I think it's very interesting that it is a plural singular. That's not something we really have in England, in English, excuse me, not England. But this concept of a plural singular, right? So in the beginning, God, plural singular, created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light, and God saw the light, and that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and he called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Let it divide the waters from the waters." Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. I could totally get into some of the theories on what that means. They're very cool, but they'll totally distract us. So I'm not going to. Maybe another day. All right. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. For those who are trying to follow along, we're in verse 9, and I'm reading out of the New King James Version. Then God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. So God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass and herbs that yield seed, and the fruit trees that yield fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself, and the earth, and it was so, on the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herbs that yield seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens, to give light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. Now, I think it's super cool that he made light on day one, but it took several more days before he made the sun, moon, and stars. Um, I don't know. I just think that's cool. All right, verse 17. He set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens." So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was great, that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Then God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Okay, what I'm really trying to get to is what comes next. I'm going to stop for a second here. When I read the Bible, and this could just be me, I typically have a few questions in my mind. One of them is, who is God? The second one is, who am I? And the third one is, how then should I live? And that might be overly simplistic, but I want to know who God is. I want to know who I am. Why am I here? And how should I then be living day to day based on these things? So we're going to move on to verse 26. And remember again about that plural singular God that we talked about earlier, Elohim. Then God said, Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Now, in almost every Bible I've had, I have underlined that us and our. Let us make man in our image. If you haven't been following along, that's Genesis 1 verse 26. Let us make man, the us. And this is like the first place where it's point blank, it's in your face, the Trinity, this concept of God being three people in one, right? And we'll get more into that in a minute. But this fact that God is in communion with who else, right? Who is he talking about? That they're going to make man in their image together, right? So verse 27, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. I'm sorry, I totally skipped something there. Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, See, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you shall be for food. Also, to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Now, a slight thing that comes to mind reading this, you'll notice that he gave herbivoric food to all the animals and all the humans. Now, he does change that later. If you're not super familiar with the Old Testament, the addition of meat to man's diet comes after the flood, specifically from God. But here at the very beginning, it was all herbivore, lots of fruit and plant-based food. All right, so again, God together with someone else, let us make man in our image. And it says he creates man in his image, male and female, and he gives them dominion over everything else that he has created, right? So we're created in God's image to have dominion over the world. So then what I want to do is flip over to the Gospel of John. Now, I'm biased here. The Gospel of John is my favorite gospel. I will admit it. It's not that the other three don't have really good qualities. They do. But there's something about John. I've always enjoyed John. It reads as such a first-person account to me. There's so many little details because it is a first-person account. It's John the disciples' account, right, of his time with Jesus. And so there's a lot of little things that he mentions that you just don't get in all the other gospels that are clearly personal touches of someone who was there when it happened. And I really enjoy those. But I also enjoy his perspective here. So John chapter 1, we're only going to be reading the first couple verses, but it says in verse 1, in the beginning. So we're back to in the beginning, right? They both say that, in the beginning. In Genesis, it's in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, right? And in John chapter 1, it says, in the beginning was the Word. Now, Word, if you're looking at it in the New King James Version, Word is capitalized. And the word Word stands for Jesus. So in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Now, that can seem like a lot of gobbledygook. So let's go back to the beginning. The beginning, get it? So again, John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word. Now remember, Word means Jesus. So in the beginning was Jesus. And the word Jesus was with God. And the word Jesus was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, Jesus. And without him, Jesus, nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness shined in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Now, I find this so fun because you go back to that, let us make men in our image, with that Elohim, that plural singular, right? The singular God, multiple persons, which is the Trinity. And then you can flip over to John, where you can see that Jesus, who is, one of the three in the Trinity, is saying, look, he was there with God in the very beginning. Through him, things were created, right? He was there. He was there. And I don't know, there's just something about knowing Jesus was there in the beginning that I find super cool. Now, I have a note here that I'm going to investigate. If you can pardon me for a moment. I have written in here some time past to look in Jeremiah, and I have no idea why I wrote Jeremiah here. Jeremiah chapter 10. Just want to see if it was something cool. Oh, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 16. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the maker of all things, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. It's interesting. So again, this is another, Jeremiah is a prophet, so this is in the prophecy section of the Bible. So again, we're referring to Jesus, but in this case, we're referring to Jesus in a prophetic sense because he hadn't come on earth yet. And again, he's pointing out here that he is the maker of all things. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well, that's the main meat of what I wanted to share today. It's something that I've had fun with over the years, this concept of Jesus in the beginning. In the way that this is echoed in various places in the Bible. The places where Jesus equates himself as having been from, say, before Abraham was, I am. There's a verse where Jesus says that, and things like that. And so getting this concept of Jesus's eternalness, and the fact that this entire book of the Bible is the story of Jesus's redemption of us. After the fall. Now, of course, we didn't get to the fall today, but, the fact that he was there from the beginning, that he took part in our creation, that he had an intention for us to have dominion over the earth, that he made us in his image. We're not just another creation, that he said, let it be. And it was, which I didn't get into that either. That's in Genesis chapter 2. If you want to read more about the creation of man, he puts way more time and effort into the creation of man than he does into the other things. And so, just very, very interesting. Okay, I think I've taken up enough of your morning. Thank you for joining me on this very messy video. As always, I would encourage you, don't just take my word for it. Go and search it out in the Bible for yourself. I am an erring human. I can get things wrong. But God and His Holy Spirit can help lead you right if I screw something up. So please do search the word for yourself. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.